when we came, there were the 3 courses already laid, and we came and we laid this top course of block all the way around the 370 feet roughly. Then we came in and we formed up for the concrete and set these gates. And these gates, most of them were already pre-assembled from the campground, but there was a team of guys from Avon, Indiana that welded up the rest of the gates that we needed. So they got those welded, and our crew painted them and finished painting some of the ones that were here. And then we came in, set these gates. They welded them in place. You can see the rebar coming out of the column here. So all these gates are welded in. And then after that was done, then our crew came in, finished the forming process, and we mixed concrete by hand on the ground, a wheelbarrow at a time, and brought it here while other members of our team were finishing it. No, no, not at all. I mean, similar, but on a very, very much more primitive scale. Basically what we do is, for the mortar mix, the mortar in between the blocks, we actually had to sift the gravel from the sand. Basically we take a 1/4-inch wire mesh screen and you lean it on an angle, and you take shovelfuls of the sand gravel mix that they just dump out of the local rivers and the ocean that they get. You take and you pitch that through the screen, and it filters out the larger rocks, and that was the sand that we used for our mortar mix. For the actual cement, we were able to just go ahead and use what they delivered on the outside of the fence and just pull out the bigger rocks before we mix the concrete. But basically the process of mixing it is you get about 2 wheelbarrow loads of gravel and a half a bag of mortar mix, and you transfer it from one pile to the next until it all gets mixed in kind of like a volcano shape. And then once it all has an even color, that dark gray color, then we would open up the center and make like a little ring and dump our water in there, and then slowly start turning it on itself. And it was very labor intensive. Yeah. Yeah. The thing that's different here is everything is precious, not just the people, but even all the materials. You don't want to waste anything. And in the States, we have a tendency to, if something's blemished or damaged or, you know, just not up to par, we don't use it. And that's just the way that we've operated for years. Well, down here, that's not how it works. Here, you use everything to its nth degree, and the same goes for your mortar mix, for your concrete mix, for your gravel. The nails, the wood, you know, you don't cut a board unless you absolutely have to, because it can be used and will be used for many different projects. As far as the mortar, you know, we were pouring it a little bit thinner than what we would normally pour in the States. They don't get the freeze and thaw that we get up there. And the one thing that we did do was add a little extra water so that it didn't dry out too quick and crack. So as far as building down here versus back home, yeah, it's night and day difference. Obviously, the biggest thing that they could bring would be flexibility. There are a few similarities, you know, back home, but most of what you're going to need is your experience and your ability to adapt and overcome any and every obstacle, because you will run into them down here. It's guaranteed. It's going to happen. But the only thing that's going to carry you through that is your experience. A cement mixer. They actually have one in Tegucigalpa, but it's about 6 hours away. So I kind of expect, you know, or I didn't expect them to bring it here. But if we had a concrete mixer, that way we could have mixed all of our mortar and all of our cement. It would have made the job a lot easier, So, but you know, everybody was working the entire time. You know, I didn't see anybody loafing or slacking or doing any of that. Everybody was working and enjoying the kids around when they could, and we couldn't have done it with one less person. So that was a blessing to see. Everybody enjoyed it.